Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. What if Naruto and Sakura were destined lovers always, part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Always was something Sakura loved the idea of. She never enjoyed big changes. She didn't like the idea of getting a new teammate initially. She didn't particularly like the fact that she lived at the hospital, and don't get her started on the big change Team 7 went through because of Sasuke. She never particularly liked those kinds of changes, but she supposed if she thought about it in some weird, philosophical way, those changes happened for the better. Although she initially did not like the new addition to Team 7, Sai, she grew to tolerate him. He also became someone of importance to her. His inability to understand basic human situations was something she was determined to help him overcome. Changes in shift at the hospital left her exhausted, more so than the missions she was assigned to with her team. She found that odd, especially since she'd been assigned S-rank missions in the past. Missions could tire her out, but the hospital was a different kind of worn out. At times she'd find herself staying longer, because some shinobi would come into the emergency department with a stab wound, or poison, or even with limbs torn from their body. The life of a medic at the hospital was very challenging and exhausting, considering each life would be on her shoulders. She had to give it her all for every single patient that was rolled into her department, because she had to constantly tell herself had she tried her best to save her patient's life. That's the only way she would be able to live with herself. Because of this, however, she was constantly at the hospital, weary, and sleep-deprived for the most part. It was a change that was damaging her health, which she didn't like to take notice of, though. She saw this as more of a good thing that she was there to make sure she could help each patient. She was sure that some of the shinobi would be dead if it wasn't for her skills. They needed her there. Everyone knew the story of how Sasuke left, sadly. But, with Sasuke's departure, however, she decided to step up as a kunoichi and train under Tsunade. That was how she even became a medic ninja in the first place. That was how she became stronger. She couldn't have Naruto doing everything on his own, which, she duly noted, was a change she encouraged. Naruto. Naruto was always a constant in her life. He was always there, whether she liked it or not. At least, he was. Now, she was so busy at the hospital, they barely got to see each other. Naruto, of course, found a way around that, by meeting her after work, almost every night she was at the hospital. The feeling was pleasant, seeing him outside the hospital, waiting for her to get off. At first she wondered if he had anything better to do, but then he gave her such a bad excuse of making sure she was safe during her walk home. She thought that was ridiculous, and called him an idiot, because she was perfectly capable of taking care of herself. "You caught me, Sakura-chan," he confessed. "Truth is, I just missed you. We never see each other anymore." Quote, "Well, that's a better answer at least," she said, and continued to walk down the path towards her home, with Naruto right beside her. That particular memory made her smile, because she missed him too. She was happy that he took the initiative to make the time to talk to her. She would have gotten very lonely otherwise. From that day, he'd walk her home almost every night. Until the day he stopped. She waited for him, because she didn't just assume he'd walk her home, she expected him to be standing right outside the hospital, by the light post. She rationalized this, however, understanding that just because she was working at the hospital a lot more lately, didn't mean Naruto would stop going on missions. However, he usually warned her when he would go on missions, and was unable to be there. She smiled at a particular memory where the rain was pouring extra hard, yet he was still at the same spot. She called him an idiot then, because he could have just as easily went into the hospital to dry off. He quickly dismissed that, saying he was perfectly fine, until of course, he began to sneeze. Idiot, she thought with a smile. She remembered when he was the one concerned for her, taking off his jacket and covering her head with it. She had reminded him that he was the one sneezing, and he needed that orange jacket more than she did. But he never listened when it came to such matters like his health, to her dismay. Either way, she enjoyed the times she had with the idiot, and wished things wouldn't have changed so abruptly. She didn't like change, especially when it dealt with Naruto. That's why, when he suddenly stopped coming to walk her home, it made her uneasy. That was exactly why, tonight, after so long, she was determined to understand why he hasn't been around. She was done with her shift, and although her muscles ached, she made an effort to go through the center of Konoha, where life exploded at this time of night. This was the time where the restaurants were packed with people, where she even heard music coming from bars. All this would have sparked Sakura's interest, taking in all the delightful smells and her ears listening to the harmonious symphonies that seemed to be playing at this time. Sakura, however, was too focused to really pay attention to what was going on in the background. She was on a mission, her eyes fixed on spotting one person, her ears open to only one person's voice. Her thoughts were consumed on where the person she was looking for might be. Of course, she already had a place in mind, knowing that would be the only location she'd find him. Ichiraku's. A smile soon formed, noticing an orange jacket with a spiral on the back. His orange jacket. Relief ran through her muscles as she made her way towards the stand. She could hear his voice, with his laughter filling the air. Something felt off, however. Someone was there, laughing right along with him. It wasn't the laughter of a man, but a woman. Not just any woman, but her best friend, Ino. Oh man, I'm full. I'm just glad I didn't offer to treat. Quote, I already told you I'm treating anyways. It's the least I could do. You don't have to constantly thank me, you know. Although, it'd be nice if a girl can get walked home once in a while. Sorry about last time, haha. I was in a rush. Don't want to keep Ba-chan waiting too long. Both stood up from their seats, and walked towards Ino's house. Sakura was standing in the shadows, concealing her chakra, in case either sensed her. This was different. No, not only was this different, this was unusual. She doesn't remember a time Naruto and Ino ever went out to eat on their own. Usually, someone else like Shikamaru or Choji or herself, would accompany them. No, this wasn't only unusual, this was strange. This was definitely a change. A change that Sakura was not used to. This was a change Sakura didn't particularly like, either. As much as Sakura did not like this change of events, she was more curious than anything else to understand what exactly was going on. Whatever was going on with those two, she didn't understand why, but she desperately needed to find out. She knew, she would get to the bottom of this. The next day, Sakura found herself at the Yamenka household. She thought about earlier this morning, when she went to Naruto's apartment to get the scoop directly from him, but to no avail. He was either away on a mission, already out, or sleeping so heavily that he did not hear her knocks. She guessed it probably wasn't the last option. She knocked so hard that she practically woke up all his neighbors, to her embarrassment. She decided that she would just go to the next best thing, Ino. She was sure to have answers. Sakura crossed her arms and began to tap her foot, very impatient. It took a minute for the door to swing open and the girl she had been waiting for to appear. Sakura, is that really you? She asked, appearing as though the girl standing before her truly was a ghost. Sakura was taken aback for a moment, wondering if it was really a shocker to see her here. In the flesh, she smirked, sticking her tongue out teasingly. Ino stepped out of the way, welcoming her inside. So, what bring you here? You're usually at work by now. I arranged to come in late today. I wanted to talk to you as soon as I could. Ino raised an eyebrow at the urgency. She wondered what was so pertinent for her to miss work. I was just curious about something. When I was walking home yesterday, I saw you and Naruto eating dinner together. I was just wondering if anything was going on. Quote, going on? What do you mean? Sakura's face heated. You know, like, if you two were dating or something. Silence. The silence unnerved Sakura. And then, she heard the girl across from her snort. These snorts turned into soft giggles, until her giggles crescendoed into full-out cackles. What's so funny? Sakura asked, shocked at the platinum blonde in front of her. Why you? She managed to say in between laughter. Sakura's eyebrow quirked up, unsure what she meant. It's just, you're hilarious. Sakura's cheeks flushed, a bit embarrassed. She wasn't sure what she meant. Ino took note of this. Don't worry, we're just friends. I'm not trying to steal your boyfriend, if that's what you're worried about. Boyfriend. You're crazy. It should be my turn to laugh now. Ino rolled her eyes, and Sakura sighed in annoyance, wishing she could wipe that smirk off her face. Ino thought she knew something, which clearly, she didn't. Look, truth is, I was just curious. You two never hung out before, so I didn't understand. Both of you are my best friends, so I really wanted to know what was up. If you two were together, then, well, I just wanted to know. Sakura shrugged nonchalant, seeming as professional as she could muster. Ino raised an eyebrow, not sure if she should believe her or not. Well, I can assure you, there's nothing going on between us. Truth be told, we've become pretty good friends, actually. We went on a few missions together after you took on more shifts at the hospital, and things took off from there. Quote. Ah, okay. Was that all? Sakura asked. I remember hearing him thank you a lot last night. I was kind of curious for what. Ino wore a grin that almost matched Naruto's then. She seemed very mischievous today. I see you've become very nosy, huh? She giggled. Look at you, playing detective like that. All for the guy you claim to only be your friend, but is getting jealous because I just had dinner with the guy. G's forehead. I knew you got jealous, but I didn't think you'd be that kind of girl. What do you expect? When an idiot like Naruto steals my best friend, of course I'm going to get jealous, she countered, smirking at Ino who was shaking her head. Oh goodness, forehead, you definitely can make me laugh. Just like that other knucklehead. I wish we could have more fun like this, Ino confessed, and Sakura sat confused by this. This always happens when we get together, pig. Quote. Forehead, she began. Sakura pursed her lips, seeing how Ino seemed down for some reason. We haven't talked like this in so long. It has been a while. To be honest, you kind of depress me. What? You've been working a lot recently, haven't you? You don't go on missions anymore with your team. It makes both of us sad. I can't figure out why you've turned so bitter. Sakura was utterly confused by this. Bitter. When did she turn bitter? How? She never once would use that adjective to describe her current situation. Tired, yes, but bitter. I don't know what you're talking about, pig. Well, to a lot of us, you were intentionally trying to distance yourself away from everyone that cares for you. Quote. That's stupid. I wouldn't be here if that were true, Sakura argued, knowing full well that she was wrong. Then why don't you hang out with us anymore? She inquired. Well, I'm working at the hospital, they need me. Sakura, that's just an excuse. Sakura breathed. Look, whatever you're thinking, you're wrong, okay. To be honest, I miss all of you. I just know I'm needed more at the hospital, alright. I want to do everything in my power to save lives. Truth is, I don't want to go on missions anymore. If that means I'm constantly at the hospital, then so be it. But don't associate that with me trying to stay away from everyone, because that's not the case. Quote. So it's the missions. I thought you liked missions, Ino rationalized, attempting to make sense of it all. I did, but I found my place, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, I loved traveling with my team, it was fun, but, well, I just realized my purpose, you know. I know where I belong, and I know where I'm needed, Sakura explained, knowing it was the truth. If she could spend the rest of her life working at the hospital, then she would. She knew where she was needed, and she knew what she had to do for her village. Is that what you need? Ino simply asked. Sakura nodded, unable to say more. Ino smiled. Sakura could tell it was strained. What's wrong? She wondered. I just can't help but wonder what changed, for you to think this way. I remember you loved missions. I remember you would do anything to save Sasuke-kun, too. Yet here you are, saying you don't want to go on missions anymore. You're basically saying you don't want to save him. Sakura's teeth ground against each other, her fist clenching. I hit a nerve, didn't I? Ino wondered. Sakura took a deep inhale, then exhaled loudly. Look, Ino, she began as calmly as she could. Whatever you're thinking, stop, please. I've grown up, and maybe you should do the same. And turn into an old hag like you. No thanks. Ino's glare bore through, but Sakura paid no mind. Sakura seemed to not acknowledge that seemingly cold blow, even. This is what I was talking about. You're so bitter. Sakura's eyebrow twitched, shaking her head. You're being so annoying right now, pig. I knew I shouldn't have come here. I should be going now. Sakura frowned, realizing how unexpected things turned out. She didn't mean to act so cold, truly. She didn't know what came over her, but she hated when others questioned her motives. Anyone who did was trying to dig deep, trying to uncover something already buried and long gone. She shook her head, getting Ino out of her head and heading to the hospital where she kept telling herself she belonged. Sakura felt very uneasy throughout the day, so much so, that she ended up taking the day off. Well, more like she was sent home. Ino made her uneasy. It wasn't just that. She was still curious about Naruto and Ino. She received her answers yesterday, yet, she still had a sinking feeling. Maybe it was because she felt her two best friends were being all friendly to each other without her involvement at all. Maybe it was because she felt she was losing both of them to the other. She wasn't particularly sure about this, but she just knew she didn't like it at all. She was too lost in thought to realize a nurse was right next to her. Haruno-san, she asked. Sakura's gaze moved towards her. Tsunade-sama wanted to speak with you before you went home. I mentioned to her that you seemed very ill, but she insisted. It's fine. Thank you, she said, appreciating her concern. Sakura's brain raced, wondering what Tsunade could possibly want. When she knocked on the Hokage's door, she was not surprised to see her with forms in one hand, and sake in the other. Tsunade-sama, she greeted, bowing. Tsunade kept her eyes on the form, but nodded. Yes, hello, Sakura. I'm glad you could make it. I heard you got sent home. Sakura's face heated, wondering if everyone knew she wasn't feeling herself lately. Yes, but don't worry, I'll be fine. I should be good to go by tomorrow. Ah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I noticed you haven't taken your week paid vacation yet, even though the work year is almost over, she began, and Sakura chuckled, nervousness ringing through her. You know, when you said you wanted to work full-time at the hospital, that you'd be relieved of being a medical ninja. That means you get vacation time, just like all the other doctors and nurses. Sorry, Tsunade-sama. I guess I just got carried away. I'm not used to paid vacation time. That's because I trained you to be a medical ninja, she offered. Sakura sighed. Either way, Sakura, I suggest you take your paid vacation time now. It looks like you need it. Tsunade looked calm. Sakura, although taken aback, nodded and bowed. Thank you, Tsunade-sama. If that's all you wanted to discuss with me, then I'll be taking my leave now, she said, smiling at her sensei and leaving. When she did, Tsunade sighed, not entirely sure what to do with her. She just knew she needed more sake to get through the paperwork. Sakura gulped, definitely feeling the tension speaking with her sensei. She could tell that she was disappointed in her, but she was happy that she still respected her wishes and didn't interfere. One less thing she had to worry about, she figured. She still wasn't sure what to do with her time, but she hoped Naruto wasn't away on any missions because her curiosity would definitely kill her if she had to wait so long to hear from him. Sakura also realized that she just wanted to see him, too. She definitely missed speaking with that hyperactive knucklehead, and she'd be damned if she didn't get a chance to catch up. She found herself at the training grounds, surprised that it was so quiet. She looked at the wooden post, smiling with nostalgia at the times when she would train with her team. She did have a lot of fun. Her ears perked, hearing something miles away. There was something in that noise that gave her a feeling of familiarity. Yes, she recognized that screech anywhere. It seems like Naruto and Sai are playing tag, she giggled, covering her mouth and concealing her chakra as she jumped into a tree. Hoping she could be a little unpredictable, too. Sai, you bastard. You better take that back. Naruto childishly shouted to the man whose smile never faltered, enjoying the fact that he could piss off Naruto so much, so easily. Naruto-san, you should control your temper, you know. I don't give a fuck what you read, you bastard. You're going to get it now. Sakura tried so hard to remain quiet, but her team's antics made fits of giggles release, blowing her cover immediately. Sakura-chan, did you come to train with us too? Her eyes widened, surprise evident. Sakura smiled. Me? No, I was just looking for you. I just wanted to see you guys again. It's been a while since I've seen either of you. Quote, then why are you up there in the trees, old hag? Were you stalking us? Sakura's eyebrow twitched. As if. Like I'd ever do something like that, and I told you I was going to kick your ass the next time you called me that, dumbass. Sakura yelled, jumping down, and punching Sai in the face. Naruto giggled, happy Sai got what he deserved. Sai got up, unknowingly pouting as he rubbed his cheek. I told you, you were going to get it, bastard. Naruto snickered more as he stuck his tongue out immaturely. Naruto, she called out, a glower forming. This caused Naruto to turn stiff, his lips pursed and a bit scared at the way she said his name. She can be pretty scary when she wants to be, he always knew. I have some questions for you, and I want some answers. His brows furrowed, confused as to what she could possibly ask him. Sure, Sakura-chan, he answered, scratching the back of his head and laughing nervously. He wasn't sure what he did to get on Sakura's bad side, but he knew whatever it was, it couldn't be good. But you have to play tag with us first. He grinned mischievously. Fine, but you're it, Sakura smirked, jumping up to the air, her foot extended, ready to tag him. His eyes widened, moving away with a back flip. He looked down, and saw the crater that formed with the blow, his confidence waning. I feel like this was Sakura-chan's plan all along. She might want to kill me, for whatever I did, he thought, preparing to run. All three team members, of course, were used to this type of game. It was Naruto's idea initially, when he suggested they play tag one day, and turned it into training. They all agreed that it was a rather effective way to train, using many of the techniques and skills to not only conceal themselves well enough, but for the other members who are trying to locate the person, to track them down. Sakura scowled. He's definitely gotten better at hiding. Or maybe her skills were simply fleeting. She shook her head, knowing she couldn't have gotten that bad. It was time to go by what she knew. She knew Naruto usually didn't stick to hiding. He was more of an offensive type of guy, than defensive. Then again, he did look a little frightened by her last attack. She smirked, feeling a bit of pride that she could still make the savior of the village, the most powerful ninja she knows, quiver in his shoes. It was definitely one point towards her self-esteem. Naruto-kun usually likes to hide in bushes. If you'd like some advice, he gets quite impatient, so he tends to move a lot after a while. Sai chided in, and Naruto inwardly cursed, being able to hear what they were saying. Naruto huffed out air, knowing he had to be clever here. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, he called, making the appropriate hand sign and using his clones to deceive both of them. Sakura looked calculated, attempting to decipher where would the real Naruto be. Sai simply smiled. It's times like this, I wish Naruto-kun would use a different jutsu, he said, taking his scroll off his back and painting with such speed and accuracy. What came to life were over a dozen rats. Eep, Sai. ? Quote. Sakura jumped a bit, glad they were focused on Naruto and his clones. Sai, you bastard. A Naruto clone insulted before a rat bit his toe and he puffed away. In a matter of seconds, there was quite a bit of smoke from the clones that disappeared. Sakura couldn't help but giggle at Naruto's foolish antics of trying but not succeeding of getting the ink rat off his toe and other body parts. Nice one, Sai, she applauded in between snickers. It was then that a member from Root appeared. Sakura looked over, and already knew Sai had to go. Sai knew this as well, both members from Root exchanging nods. "You have been summoned," he proclaimed, and Sai nodded again. "Thank you," he said, and the member from Root disappeared in a poof. He turned to Sakura. "Sorry, but I cannot stay longer. Danzo-sama would like to see me. It was very nice training with you too, I'll see you both later," he said, and made his departure rather quick. Sakura waved goodbye, but soon turned to the trees at hand, knowing Naruto had to be somewhere she supposed she'd just have to get him to lure him out somehow. She smirked, bringing her fist up, and lowering it to the ground, knowing the whole training grounds would begin to shake. This is my chance," she thought as she quickly jumped towards the blonde, grabbing a hold of his wrist, and pinning him to the ground. "Got you. I should have expected something like that from you. Sakura-chan, you're still as strong as ever. That strength of yours," he trailed off, chuckling nervously. "I'm beat." "Yes, you are," she smirked, continuing to hold the blonde ninja down. She noticed his face heated, turning away from her. "You alright? It's just, usually when you win, you wouldn't keep holding me down like this," he observed, making Sakura jump up, a bit flustered. "Sorry," she coughed. "Anyways, I'd like to ask you some things, if that's alright." "Of course, Sakura-chan, anything you want. Although, could we walk and talk? I have to get ready for a mission tonight." Sakura nodded in agreement, dusting herself off and giving Naruto a hand in getting off his back. She smiled, seeing his smile reminded her of old times. She could sense something was off, though. There was something in his eyes that she didn't recognize, a tone in his voice that she'd never heard from him before. "It's been a while, hasn't it?" she started, gauging his reaction. She observed a rather poignant expression. His eyes were downcasted when she brought that up, and he seemed quieter and less cheerful. His lips formed a small crest, forming a rather melancholy smile. "Yeah," was all he added to the conversation. "You know, I was really sad after you stopped walking me home from the hospital. That was the only time we got to really talk anymore. I really missed that." "Well, actually," she corrected, enjoying the fact that they were in each other's presence and were somewhat having a conversation. He stared at her, his eyes widening at her words. "To be honest, Sakura-chan, I never expected you to say something like that." His face heated, giving her a big toothy grin. "Why not? You're my friend, and I don't see you anymore. Of course I'm going to miss you," she quickly countered. "Right, sorry," he apologized. I didn't want to bother you too much. You seemed like your mind was in another place sometimes, like you still had other thoughts on your mind. After a while, I kind of felt bad." She frowned at this, remembering times where she would brush him off, thinking of patients she had to leave in the hands of others because her shifts were too long, even for her. Naruto was taken back by her expression, the way she looked at him, she seemed so hurt. He couldn't help but feel guilty. He knew she was looking for more. "I've also been busy," he added. "I've been pretty tired, too. I have been training extra hard, recently. I get really worn out, but I'm still giving it my all. I have to give it everything I got, you know. You can't be the only one who's working so hard, Sakura-chan. I still have unfinished business I need to take care of, and so I've been trying to keep it." He looked at her, shooting her another toothy grin, but the atmosphere changed. Sakura didn't look hurt anymore, but determined, maybe upset, too. "Sakura-chan, I've heard you've been spending a lot of time with Ino, though," she said backhandedly, and Naruto was struck speechless, wondering how she knew about that. "You've been with her a lot, haven't you?" He nodded. "I have, but she's just been helping me. What I said before was all true, though. I really am training harder, and getting stronger, too. You'll see, Sakura-chan." Sakura took a step back, he was so animated, so committed, his eyes showed truth in his words. She gazed into his eyes, her lips pursed. She knew he wouldn't give up on his dream. She knew that more than anyone. She believed him, but that scared her, too. Because she knew why he was working so hard. She shook her head, brushing those thoughts off, and hoping to get to the issue at hand. I already know, idiot. I know you work harder than anyone else, she began. Not as hard working as you, Sakura-chan, he added, making her smile. Flattery with me, Naruto, will get you nowhere. It almost seems like you're trying to change the subject. What I wanted to ask was how Ino was helping you, she said, cutting straight to the point. She definitely took notice that his demeanor changed, his ears heating to the color red, and the heavy inhale he took was evidence enough. It's not all that important. You shouldn't worry about it. He looked over to her, and he couldn't believe she was actually pouting. This was the first time he saw her act childlike. He wasn't used to it, but he felt it suited her. Sakura-chan, when you make faces like that, you make it really hard for me, he confessed. She looked at him curiously, not sure what he meant by that. What do you mean by that? She inquired, truly not understanding him. It's just, you look extra cute when you pout like that, Sakura-chan. I already told you, flattery with me will get you nowhere. You need to stop changing the subject again. She crossed her arms and looked away, trying to hide the fact that blood was gushing to her cheeks. Naruto didn't notice this, but he smiled either way, knowing she would take it like that. I know, but I really do have to go now. Whatever you've been worried about, you really shouldn't be all that worried about. It's none of your concern, and it really isn't all that important. I mean it. Bye, Sakura-chan. That did not make her feel any more relieved than before. His attempt to reassure her went in vain, for she still had a myriad of questions left unanswered. Naruto, she seethed. You can't run away from me that easily. Naruto definitely felt Sakura's wrath, so much so he needed to get away, and quick. That wasn't what he was really running away from, he realized with a tint of pink adorning his cheeks. She was definitely as feisty as he remembered, and stubborn, and strong. He shook his head, attempting to get thoughts of Sakura out of his mind. No, the real question he should have been contemplating, was why Sakura was interrogating him all of a sudden. It seemed so odd for her to do, for something so small. He honestly didn't think Sakura would feel so strongly for a small gesture as walking her home. He did do that a lot though, he remembered. If not constantly escorting her to her home, but always asking when they were younger. Maybe that's why. Well, it was obvious to him she had gotten so accustomed to it, that it seemed out of the norm to tersely stop. Although, he wondered, why now? Why was it suddenly bothering her now of all times? Just when I thought, his thoughts trailed off, feeling dejected from his continuous thoughts of Sakura. It was too overwhelming to think about again, and he would rather not at this time, especially when he had a mission to focus on. Naruto. I knew you'd show up sooner or later. I need to talk to you. A brash, yet angelic voice yelled from in front of his apartment. Alas, it was Ino, waiting with a smug look he came to know as her expression when she had a lot to talk about. He soon realized he could not simply brush this off. However, seeing her face quelled his previous anxieties. Relief still washed over him, because he knew she'd either shed some much-needed light, or bring unintended comfort, simply by her silly antics. Naruto, hurry up. I have big news, she declared, which perked Naruto's interest. What's the news? Let's get some ice cream first. It's too hot out and I've been waiting out here for you. She demanded, attempting to push him downstairs once more. Ino, we have a mission tonight, you know. He reminded. And here I thought you just winged it. You don't usually prepare all that much for missions, she reminded, smirking because she knew she was right. What's the real reason? She pestered on. He scratched the back of his head, scrunching his face childishly. His eyebrows furrowed in concentration, wondering if he should tell her or not. Fine, he finally gave in, walking on his own. Honestly, I told Sakura-chan that I was in a rush because I had a mission tonight. It doesn't feel right going out when I told her that. It doesn't feel right to lie to Sakura-chan like that. Ino laughed. Ah, so I'm assuming you got a surprise visit from Forehead too. She grinned, giggling. That's exactly who I wanted to discuss with you. Ino said excitedly, hoping to get all the gossip. And it's just to grab ice cream and come back, stop being so afraid. Quote. They made their way to the park where there was a man with an ice cream cart. Ino smiled. Finally. I have been craving this for a while. But this will be the last time I have ice cream for a month. Naruto eyed her oddly, wondering why women were weird. After they got their ice cream, they began walking through the park once more. What was it you wanted to talk to me about? He wondered. Forehead, obviously. She's been acting really weird. She was asking me all sorts of questions about us, Ino explained. Yeah, she was asking me about it too. Why do you think that is? It's so obvious. She's obviously has a thing for you, Ino began, but stopped, when she noticed Naruto stop walking. Ino, don't joke around like that, he said, and Ino sighed. He could change so fast. His face showed nothing but seriousness. Right, she said, rolling her eyes. This dummy, she thought. Either way, she's concerned for both of us for some reason. You know, forehead. Well, she's still as strong as ever. We were playing tag with Sai today, Naruto said, and Ino smiled, laughing. No wonder you wanted to get away from her. She was probably trying to kill you, Ino joked, and Naruto laughed along with her. However, he stopped when Ino suddenly stopped, and looked ahead to where she was looking. His eyes widened. Sakura wasn't sure what she was doing aimlessly walking through the park. She was lost in thought, contemplating what had happened. It felt like Naruto came and went. It was far too brief for her liking. There were times they'd spend hours upon hours together. Their meeting today was far too short. She never thought she'd miss him like she has been. Similar thoughts to the night she walked home from the hospital surfaced. She continued to contemplate all these thoughts, until a familiar pair came into view. Naruto looked like a deer caught in the headlights when he saw Sakura right before him. Sakura stared blankly, silent. Sakura-chan, what are you doing here? He questioned, but maybe he shouldn't be the one questioning her. Her eyes darted to the both of them, going from hurt, to anger, to indifference. She shrugged, I just wanted some fresh air. I see you're working hard all right, preparing for your mission and all. I guess I'll leave you two to prepare for your mission. Sakura looked up to Naruto, and he could have sworn looks really could kill, because at that moment, he could feel his heart. Stop. She turned away from the two, her pace quickening as she wanted to run away as far as possible. She resisted the urge to punch him, which was a miracle in its own right. It's really my fault, Naruto, for interrupting your little date, she began, and Naruto looked at her inquisitively, trying to understand her intentions. Sakura-chan, I don't really know what to say but sorry. I really was planning to go pack and get ready for my mission tonight, but then Ino was at my door and needed to ask me some things, he tried to explain. Yeah, it was my fault, forehead. Don't be mad at him. You know how I am when I need to talk to someone, Ino chimed in. Sakura stopped. It's fine, really. By her tone, he knew it wasn't. Sakura-chan, please let me make it up to you, please. Quote. Silence. Only thing that Naruto could hear was Sakura's footsteps as she began to walk away again. He hesitated to run towards her, first looking beside him, where Ino stared at him, annoyed. Well, don't just stand there, go after her then, she said, and Naruto dumbly nodded, beginning to run after her. Sakura-chan, wait, Naruto called. He sped up so fast, he jumped in front of her. She halted in her steps, stepping back a bit, only to lose her balance by the unexpectedness. Naruto quickly grabbed Sakura by her waist, hoping he could help her stabilize. I'm sorry, Sakura-chan. Please, let me at least walk you home, or wherever you need to go, he pleaded. Sakura sighed, taking a step back from him, and turned away from him to mask her blush. Fine, she relented. I hope you know you didn't have to lie to me. If you didn't want to talk to me, you could have just said so. Sakura-chan, I love talking to you. Just wasn't a subject I'm all that good in. Quote. You could have just said that. I know, and I'm sorry. I really was planning to pack for a mission, though. But that cannon will wait. You have my full and undivided attention, Sakura-chan. You're such an idiot. Quote. You know, Sakura-chan, flattery may get me nowhere with you, but it definitely would take you places with me. And where would I want to go with you? She wondered, a smile forming. Well, I didn't have a place in mind, but it will get you places. She couldn't help but giggle. You're too much. She sighed, but you have gotten quite handsome since I last saw you. You don't have to flatter me with comments I already know are true, though, he joked, and she playfully pushed him, shaking her head. You really are too much. She still couldn't help herself when she chuckled at his antics. Well, maybe you've been a little too much for me, too. You keep catching me off guard, he mentioned, and she laughed. I thought I could put those ninja skills to good use. Well, you've definitely put me on edge, he blurted out, and he wished he hadn't. He was getting too comfortable again, he realized, and started confessing things he shouldn't be confessing. And why have I put you on edge? Is it because I'm asking you about Ino all the time? She asked, eyeing him suspiciously. He knew Sakura would try to get what she wants, she's that stubborn, but he had no idea she was that determined. She definitely put her ninja skills to good use. She got close to him, a little too close for comfort, so he took a step back and raised his arms defensively. You know, Sakura-chan, I feel as though you have a knack for interrogation. You could get anything out of anybody, I bet. I just wish I wasn't at the other end of it. Well, you're not so bad at avoiding my questions. I'm sure if you ever got captured, you could talk them to death with that mouth of yours. He pouted, and she smirked. That pout of yours isn't going to work on me. Yeah, it's not as cute as yours. You sure can stir up a lot of trouble, Sakura-chan. Sakura sighed. Look, I don't mean to pry. I'm sorry if I'm coming off as too stubborn for my own good. I just really don't like the feeling that my two best friends are hiding something from me. To be honest, it kind of felt like I lost both of you to each other. It kind of sucks, since I was Ino's, and your friend first, yet it seems you two are closer to each other than I ever was. If that's what concerns you, then you have nothing to worry about. Sakura-chan, no one can replace you. You are one of my greatest friends, that I cherish more than anything in the world. You're not going to lose either of us. Our friendship is the kind that lasts forever, because I'll make it last, whether you like it or not. Sakura strained her muscles to muster up a smile, happy with his words but not pleased. It more or less left her a bit empty, even though he was trying to fill her with joy and relief. Of course, she felt relief that they would be friends no matter what happened. But, at the same time, that left much to be desired as well. And that truly scared her. Sakura groggily sat up from bed, rubbing the crust from her eyes. She had to admit, sleeping in had to be one of the greatest luxuries life could offer. Truly, those extra hours of sleep really did her good. Maybe I was turning into an old hag, she thought, hoping this beauty sleep might turn back some time for her, although she knew Ino exaggerated quite a bit. It's not like she already had crow's feet or anything of that sort. She stretched her arms, yawning as she realized this has been the slowest morning she had in a long time. She definitely learned to appreciate these small moments from time to time when they surface. She got up and went to her fridge. She noticed she had nothing to make. Better go to the market, she figured, closing the fridge and getting ready to begin her day. You guys should have duck. No, I hate duck, Neji interjected. What? But it's so good, Kiba exclaimed. If you don't shut up, we'll be serving dog, Neji glowered. Kiba glared, but backed off, knowing resistance was futile. All I'm saying is duck tastes pretty good. Kiba-kun, Neji-Nisan doesn't like duck. But I'm sure you'll find other foods for your enjoyment. It will be buffet style, after all, Hinata explained, attempting to diffuse the tension. We're not going to say which meat will be dog meat, though, Neji muttered, and Hinata gasped, nervousness grew. Nning through her as her timid body attempted to hold Kiba back. Don't worry, Kiba-kun. D-dog will not be served. We will only be serving chicken, fish, and pork, Hinata reassured, nervously chuckling in hopes she calmed Kiba down. Kiba scoffed, bringing both hands to the back of his head as he wondered, why in the hell are we at the market anyways? Don't you guys have maids and servants doing this shit for you? Hinata frowned, and Neji shook his head, feeling rather annoyed with his cousin's teammate. I'm done for today, Neji said, and walked out. And Neji-Nisan, please come back. Hinata called, attempting to remind both of their goal. She ran after him. Sakura stared, bemused at what was going on. A rather interesting scene we have here. Kiba. Is Neji okay? She asked. Kiba laughed. Yeah, he's just being a little bitch, he chucked, and Sakura raised an eyebrow. There's going to be a ceremony for the both of them. Although Neji is an ass, it should only be for Hinata, he concluded, annoyed. Anyways, if you want to know more, ask Hinata, she'll tell you loads. I'm surprised you haven't heard anything about it already. Kiba shrugged, mentioning he was going to go look for her. Sakura nodded, lost in thought. She didn't remember getting an invitation or anything of the sort. Sakura-san. Hinata called, delighted to see her. Sakura smiled and waved in greeting. I'm glad I finally got the chance to see you. I'm not sure if your invitation was received because you didn't RSVP, Hinata mentioned, mumbling a bit. Oh, I must have not checked. But I don't think I heard anything about it. Hinata gasped, bowing and apologizing profusely. Hinata, it's fine. I hope you are not too busy, but we will be hosting a ceremony for our inauguration as clan leaders, Hinata began. Both of you. Hinata blushed. Yes, this is how the Hyuga clan has changed because of Naruto-kun. They are looking at skill now, too. And we will both be leading the head and the branch families so we can finally stand united. Sakura smiled, realizing just how much Naruto has changed things. He made history, and set out to do what he said he would do. That's amazing, Hinata. I wouldn't miss that for the world. When is it? Hopefully if it's not too soon, I can schedule in advance. Oh, well, it's actually on Saturday, Hinata said, and Sakura smiled. That's perfect, actually. I have vacation leave this week, so that makes it even better, Sakura declared, excitement running through her. She was happy to be a part of this, and be a witness to a moment such as this. Sorry, Sakura-san, but we need to finish preparing for the ceremony, actually. We would have been out of here by now if someone hadn't questioned us on the meet we're having, Neji interjected as he glared at Kiba. Hey, shut the hell up. I was just making a suggestion, Kiba reasoned, and Neji face-palmed, sighing because Kiba was making him exasperated. Why yes, Tenten-san and Lee-san are both picking up some last-minute necessities that we may have overlooked, Hinata explained. Sakura nodded. We should be on our way. We've been out all day, aren't you too hungry? Kiba asked. Oh yes, I'm in the mood for a mutt, Neji muttered, making Kiba clench his fist. Bastard. Let it go already, sheesh. Kiba said, extremely annoyed. Maybe we should grab a bite to eat. Maybe Sakura-san could join us, she said, smiling at the girl. Sakura was giggling until she heard her name. Oh, well, I was at the market because I ran out of food, but I wouldn't mind, actually. I wasn't really in the mood for cooking anything up anyways, Sakura articulated, smiling at Hinata to show she would really love to join them. Hinata thought for a moment, we should find Tenten-san and Lee-san. They might be hungry as well. Neji crossed his arms, leaning on a wall with indifference. If we can find them. That shouldn't be too hard, hee, Kiba reminded, knowing that Lee would be screaming somewhere in the village. Why yes, they would be at the tailor's I believe, Hinata said, making Kiba feel rather dumb for thinking what he was initially thinking. We can pass by there first, while Sakura-san puts away her groceries. Would that be alright? Hinata asked Sakura. She, in response, smiled and nodded. Let's meet at the dango shop. What do you guys say? They all nodded, content with this plan. See you guys later then. Quote. Sakura-san. Sakura heard a boisterous voice call out to her. She turned and wasn't surprised with Lee dashing towards her at full speed, while his teammates, along with Hinata and Kiba, lugged behind, much duller in comparison. She never felt more delighted in her life to see the green clad with everyone else. As Lee ran up to her, he smiled his awe-sparkling smile that Sakura came to admire these past years. It's been a while, hasn't it, Sakura-san? It's so nice to see you after so long. Sakura's eyes widened, wondering if Lee was actually welling up in tears. Her face heated, a bit flustered at this outburst. Lee-san, it's nice to see you too, she simply said, giving him a smile that Lee found inspiring. The others sluggishly walked over to them, finally catching up. Goodness, Lee, I don't know how we can keep up with you, Tenten exasperated as she shook her head. Then again, I was surprised myself when I heard Sakura was joining us, she greeted with a smile, and Sakura smiled back a bit nervo. USLY, wondering if it really had been as long as they were saying. Well, let's not waste any more time than we should, we can all catch up inside, Neji stated, and Tenten giggled a bit, remembering the recent story of today and why they hadn't gotten much done. He's right, I'm starving. Lee exclaimed. Sakura-san, Sakura-san. Lee called, not sure if she was lost in thought or dazed. She looked towards the man, a heated blush staining her cheeks as she realized she was too preoccupied looking at what she wanted to eat. So, Sakura-san, how has life been treating you? Pretty well, actually. I've recently been busy with the hospital, and have been doing quite a bit of research too, actually. But I ended up getting vacation time this week, which is a nice break I suppose, she explained. Sakura-san, we should all hang out more often, before you get too busy again. Lee suggested, and Sakura smiled. I'd like that, actually. Sakura, would you like to go clothes shopping with Hinata and I? I still need to find a nice accessory for my hair, and Hinata still needs to find a kimono. Were you planning to look for one too? Tenten inquired. Sakura's eyes widened, not even thinking about what she would wear. She had very casual kimonos, but none that would be fit for this occasion. No, I don't. I would love to join you too, she accepted, actually really excited to see them again. To be honest, she felt it might be a little hard for her to get back and comfortable with her friends, but she supposed it ended up being far easier than she initially assumed. They accepted her in again right away. Although, she supposed, that's what friends were for. Sakura finally decided she was going to order green tea and chichi dangos, feeling in the mood for sweets. Through their conversation, she heard quite a lot of exciting adventures they all went on in their missions. It got her excited, realizing how much she missed out. There was this one mission I was assigned with Naruto-kun and Ino-san, and we needed to retrieve a scroll. Naruto-kun. Sakura's mind stopped listening when she heard Naruto and Ino's name. Sakura-san, are you okay? Hinata asked, a small frown forming. Sakura nodded, blushing madly. Sakura seems lost in thought, Tenten observed. I'm sorry, I was just thinking about hospital duties and my research. I tend to take my work home with me unfortunately, she explained, and they nodded in understanding. Sakura-san has been working extremely hard, Lee mentioned, and Sakura nodded, knowing she's been getting that a lot recently. She gasped, hearing his proclamation with so much eagerness. I cannot fall behind, either. I will continue to train and work extra hard too. Calm down, we're in a restaurant, Tenten reminded, urging him to sit. Yes, my apologies. I just get filled with eager flames of youth when I hear about how hard Sakura-san is working. I don't want to fall behind. Sakura smiled, excited someone realized that what she did was hard, and acknowledged her strength for working so tediously and tenaciously. No matter how hard I work, Lee, I don't think I could even compare to you, she complimented, bringing tears to the boy's eyes. That means the world to hear you say that. Neji. Tenten. We must begin training harder than ever. I shall go fetch Gai-sensei, and… Lee. Calm down for 1 minute, please, Neji urged, his eyebrow twitching. You are forgetting that there is a lot of things Hinata-sama and I need to do to prepare. Quote. Yeah, you promised you'd help, Tenten added. Lee nodded vigorously. Yes, after the ceremony, we will go straight to training. Lee exclaimed, and they all sighed, while Sakura simply giggled, happy that not everything changed. The scenery was rather majestic. He couldn't describe just how glorious it was, but he understood from a dictionary that an appropriate term for this would be aesthetically pleasing, not only to his eyes, but for his canvas as well. Sai enjoyed painting for fun. It was his passion, and he couldn't imagine not being able to do this. Sai? Sakura questioned, wondering what Sai was doing out at the park. After she finished having lunch with Team Guy and Hinata and Kiba, she wanted to take a stroll around the park. She was certainly surprised to see Sai of all people, however. "Ah, Hag, it's you." Her eyebrow twitched, crossing her arms. "I don't know how many times I have to tell you to call me by my name. I don't like these little nicknames you're trying to give me," she reprimanded, irritated at this. "My apologies, Sakura-san." She smiled, thinking how that was much better. "What brings you out here?" "I could say the same for you," she said. "I thought it was rather obvious. I figured your observation skills would be better than what you're displaying." Sakura glared. "I know that, idiot. I was wondering why though. I was walking by, and just found this place has nice scenery to paint." Sakura nodded in understanding. "Well, I'm glad you have time to paint as a hobby still," Sakura mentioned. Sai smiled. "Yes, I agree. I love that I get the chance to paint. I enjoyed painting our friends especially, however." She eyed the sketchbook next to him, and he looked at her with his peripheral vision. "You are welcome to look through my new sketches if you like," he allowed, and Sakura smiled, grabbing the book from the grass and searching through it. She smiled, noticing he sketched a lot of their friends. "I like sketching something when on a mission. It helps me recall the memory. With my new bonds, it makes me want to recall the memories, and cherish them," he admitted, guessing she was wondering why he would do such a thing. "That's awesome, Sai." She stopped flipping through the pages of Sai's sketchbook, looking at what he sketched. She couldn't take her eyes off it. This particular sketch made her feel poignant. It was a sketch of Naruto and Ino. Her jaw tightened, her fingers gripping the sketchpad harder. "Is something wrong?" Sai asked, noticing how she stopped flipping through the pages. She smiled. "No, nothing is wrong, everything is fine," she said, and Sai frowned. "I recognize your fake smile. It's very clear to me that you are lying." Sakura dropped her smile in her eyes, not wanting to look at him. "I am correct, aren't I?" She nodded. What do you think about Naruto and Ino together?" she questioned, and he stared at her, confused. "I've noticed they've grown quite close." "I see. Are you apprehensive about their relationship?" he wondered. She stared at him, wondering how he learned to be that observant of feelings. "You seem very sad by what I said." Your expression changed. "Ah, and you are attempting to use a fake smile to make your emotions feel as though they are covert." Sigh, she trailed off, surprised by the boy yet again. Her face heated at the thought of being discovered, soon looking at the ground. "I was initially trying to look for Naruto to find out why he doesn't seem to want to hang out with me anymore. Well, why he doesn't want to walk me home from the hospital. He used to always do that, and that was the only time we saw each other. Now, well, I see why. He got preoccupied with someone else. Sigh, you're around both of them more. Do you think they like each other?" she asked curiously. Sai thought for a moment. "He talks to me, and it feels the same as before, kind of. I feel as though he's holding back, though. It's hard to explain. I wouldn't know. I never thought of asking him." Sai shrugged. Could Naruto like Ino? She placed her hand on her chest, because that particular thought made her heart clench in anguish. Sakura could barely sleep last night. She was so preoccupied with mind-boggling thoughts. Nightmarish thoughts tormented her mind, and she tossed and turned, until she finally gave up on sleep. She knew she would pay for it in the morning. She was right, of course. She definitely paid, with the toll being a headache. However, she still found herself heading to Naruto's to visit. She was surprised to see his door was unlocked. She walked in, looking around. Sakura was horrified to see him living in filth. Nothing had changed since she left. He still left such a mess, and obviously didn't clean up after himself. She huffed, realizing that she should have checked up on him more often, otherwise he would never clean his apartment. Naruto, she called. She walked towards his room, and opened the door to see more of a mess in his room. Wonder if Ino has even seen his room, she couldn't help but think. She shook her head, walking towards the sleeping blonde. Naruto. Sakura-chan, he yelled, surprised that she was there, and soon covered himself. Sakura blushed, noticing he was only in his boxers. How did you get in so quietly? He wondered, knowing it would take Sakura unhinging the door for her to get this far. You left your door unlocked. Ah, yeah, you should make sure that's locked. Right. I came in early this morning. Must have been too tired to notice. Yeah, I should let you get dressed. Quote. Alright. Sakura-chan, what's up? Just wanted to visit, is all. How was your mission? It went well. I was just guarding some worker near that small town at the Fire Country border. It was just a small mission, really. No big deal, but it took all night. I actually came in early this morning, he explained, shrugging. Sakura nodded. Must be fun to be on missions, huh? Of course. Well, when Ba-chan gives me some real missions, he said, crossing his arms at the thought of Tsunade giving him busy work missions. At times. Sakura laughed. I bet. You always loved the higher-ranking missions. Who wouldn't? A shinobi of my skill level shouldn't be doing dumb C-ranked missions. You know, you are actually still a genin, she reminded, giggling. Naruto furrowed his eyebrows. Don't remind me. I can't believe everyone is either chunin or junin, while I'm still a genin. Sakura-chan, you know if I wasn't training so hard and out of Konoha, I'd at least be a junin by now. Quote. Trust me, I know. Sakura laughed. Did you want water or anything? No, I'm fine. Silence. Naruto, I know I've asked you about this subject so much already, but I just have to know something, alright? And please be honest, she began. Naruto eyed her suspiciously, confused eminent as he continued to gaze at her. What is it, Sakura-chan? Look, I know both you and Ino said you two are just friends. And I totally believe you too. I just want to hear from you specifically. Do you like her as more than a friend? He stood there speechless. She quickly apologized, shaking her head. Sorry. I know it's weird of me to ask that, but you guys spend a lot of time together now, and it seems like you really like her, she explained. Her heart was ready to pound out of her chest, with how nervous she was asking this question, anticipating the answer. She didn't want to look at him, she didn't want to see any signs of adoration for the blonde-haired girl. She wasn't sure why she felt as though she wouldn't be able to handle it. Well, of course I like Ino. She has the biggest mouth on her, but she's a great friend. I can see why she's your best friend, he chuckled, a big toothy grin forming. She frowned. He was nervous. His face, although he was trying to hide it, was heated, with a fainted pink blush over his cheeks. It was something he was attempting to be more discreet about, but she could still see it, albeit very feeble. You know what I mean, Naruto. Don't play dumb with me, she countered. Do you like Ino as more than a friend? Quote. Sakura-chan, I don't understand. Why are you asking me this? Where did all this come from? Oh, come on, don't act so secretive. We're friends, remember. It's just a yes or no question, and you can tell me, you know. I thought I already told you that I still consider you one of my dearest friends, so I would hope that this wouldn't be such a big deal to talk about. Sakura-chan, even so, this isn't something I feel like I could come to you about, considering our past, he explained, and she thought for a moment. What's that supposed to mean? She asked, affronted. I didn't mean anything bad by it. I just mean, well, he trailed off, attempting to find the words. You dummy. I'm still your friend, you know. No matter what happened in the past, I still support you in whatever you do. Just think of the present. We are friends. Nothing should ever change that, alright. Now, if you like Ino, then I say, that's great. She smiled, wondering why she was being supportive all of a sudden. He tilted his head, sporting a small frown, before straining for it to become a smile. He chuckled loudly, hey, Sakura-chan, you're absolutely right. I was being an idiot. I know I can tell you anything. We'll be great friends no matter what, and I guess nothing will change that. She nodded, coercing herself to smile as well. Okay, fine, I'll tell you. I might have moved on. I think I really do like Ino, he explained. Oh, was all she could muster up saying, but Naruto was too busy looking at the ground to see. Yeah, it's kinda weird. I've never really felt like this before, he admitted, failing to tell her that he'd only felt that way before with her, that he guessed that feelings can change if you try hard enough. He finally looked up after a long period of silence, wondering if she was even there. She looked up and smiled again. I see, was all she could think of saying. Her mind was scrambling, trying to preoccupy herself with what she would say next, what she wanted to ask next. Have you told her yet? She asked after pondering. He shook his head. No, I don't think I want to ask her out or anything, he said. He looked up to her and stammered, well, not yet at least. I don't want to rush anything and I like the idea of just being friends for now until I know for sure. What do you mean? She asked gravely. Well, it's kind of hard for me to put into words. But, it's just easier to remain friends. Anyways, even if I knew for sure, I don't think I would want to be in a relationship yet, anyways. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of things I still have to do. I'm not ready yet. There's a lot of unfinished business, he admitted, and she understood exactly what he was saying. A lump was in her throat at the thought. He chuckled, either way, I don't want to weird her out with any of this, anyways. I don't want to ask her out and have things become awkward or uncomfortable if I was reading the signs wrong, he said sheepishly. He scratched the back of his head, turning away from the girl in embarrassment. He seemed flustered when she looked at him. Well, that's just great, she strained out, albeit a bit bitterly. She couldn't understand why she felt so sore. Her heart was sore. Sakura-chan, do you think you can do me a favor, actually? Maybe you could find out if she likes me as more than a friend. Me? Why me? She gawked, awestruck. Well, you seemed like you'd want to help. You're also her best friend. Plus, your newfound skills of interrogation are amazing, he added, and at that she couldn't help but snort at his words. Even as her heart was breaking, he still found a way to make her laugh. She wasn't sure how that was possible, but he managed to do it. She sighed. Naruto, of course I can do that. You two are both my best friends, and the thought, well, it's just hard to believe or grasp right now, she admitted. Thanks, Sakura-chan, you're the best. He exclaimed, embracing her. Her heart melted, and she savored this moment, hoping they would not stay like this for too long, actually. If her face was away from him for too long, she might begin to cry. Thank you, for being honest with me. I'm glad you could. I felt like I was losing you, as my friend, she said. Sakura-chan, that's never gonna happen. You're stuck with me, I hope you realize, whether you like it or not. He grinned, and she smiled tenderly. Well, I have to go, alright. I'll see you later. Thanks for opening up to me, she said, waving goodbye with an attempt to smile. She wasn't sure what was happening to herself emotionally or physically. She felt sick to her stomach, her body overworking itself, and she felt like vomiting right then and there just thinking about what transpired. She felt like she could just go home and hide under her covers, and seclude herself in darkness. Sakura didn't do any of those things, however. If she learned anything from chasing after Sasuke, she learned that no friendship was worth risking for the possibility of a relationship. This time, it would be two friendships that she wanted to keep holding onto very dearly. However, that wasn't to say she was happy about it. She clearly was not, but she still didn't understand why. All she knew was that this revelation left an ache in her heart that would not go away. Tenten and Hinata patiently waited at Sakura's door, wondering why she wasn't answering. We did let her know we would be shopping in the morning, right? Tenten asked. Hinata nodded. Yes we did. Hopefully Sakura-san is home. Maybe she's still sleeping, she assumed. We should check, Tenten suggested. Hinata nodded. Tenten jumped to her window, but it was covered, so she could not look in. Tenten sighed. Hinata knocked more vigorously, stopping when she heard a loud thud. Sakura made her way to the door, surprised to see both Hinata and Tenten beaming at her. Oh man, Sakura, you look like a mess. Are you alright? Tenten asked with concern. Yes, I'm fine. I just overslept. I ended up contacting the hospital, and a nurse asked for my help writing medical narratives. I couldn't say no, and well, I guess I overslept, she explained. Well, did you still want to go look for outfits to wear? Tenten asked. Sakura smiled. I'd love to, but. Good, because you need a break, she began, not letting the girl have the option of turning them down. I thought Tsunade-sama ordered you to take a vacation. Quote. Well, she didn't necessarily order me, Sakura clarified, and Tenten sighed. But you're still on vacation, and that's the most important part. So get ready and come with us. Sakura smiled, her eyebrow twitching a bit. She wasn't in any mood to go anywhere really. She could already tell that this would be a long day. You look amazing, Hinata. Tenten exclaimed. Hinata blushed, bashfully retreating back a bit. Hinata was in a lavender kimono, with flowers decorating it, the color of deep lilac. Around her waist was a violet obi. Thank you, Tenten-san. What do you think, Sakura? Tenten questioned. Sakura got out of her stupor and looked over at Hinata. She beamed. I think it's perfect and suits you well. Quote. Thank you, Sakura-san. So, you want to tell us why you've been lost in your daydreams? Tenten inquired. More like nightmare, Sakura thought, but attempted to muster up a smile. My mind is just somewhere else. Quote. I can see that, but where? Hospital, she stated. Sorry. I'm just worried that they might need me, she clarified. They both seemed to believe her. Tenten smiled. Well, get out of it, you're here with us. There are certainly other doctors that can handle it. I'm going to go look for something that I can wear, okay? I'll be back, Tenten said as she made her way through the aisles. Once Tenten left, silence permeated the air with Sakura and Hinata. Hinata was fiddling with her kimono, unsure if she should buy it or look for another. Sakura looked over at the girl curiously. You really should buy it, you know. It really suits you. It brings out your eyes, she added. Hinata smiled sheepishly. Thank you, Sakura-san. I think I will, she said, appreciative. That was just what she needed to get that final push in getting it. No problem. Hey, could I ask you something? Hinata nodded. Do you still like Naruto? She asked, and Hinata's face brightened like a tomato at the question. Naruto-kun, she stuttered, surprised. Yeah, you had a big crush on him, didn't you? You don't stutter around him anymore, to an extent at least. I was just curious, she trailed off. Hinata slumped over in thought, her gaze staring at the ceiling with a poignant smile decorating her features. Yes, I suppose that statement is accurate. I hold strong feelings for Naruto-kun, she admitted. Sakura raised an eyebrow. What do you mean by suppose? She asked. I still remember when pain invaded, very clearly. I knew I would die. I thought, if I'm going to die, I would like to make sure Naruto-kun knew how I really felt. It was my chance to be the one to protect him, instead of Naruto-kun protecting everyone else. That day, I stood in front of him, prepared to die. It was then I had enough confidence to tell him that I love him, Hinata stated. Sakura's eyes widened, her eyes showing sympathy for the girl. Deep down, I always knew. Quote. Always knew what? That he didn't feel the same way. I love Naruto-kun, but during the war, I told myself I would stop chasing after him. So, that's what I did. I knew he loved someone else, and so I simply wanted what was best for Naruto-kun, Hinata confessed. So, to answer your question, yes, I love Naruto-kun, but not in the same way as I did before. Sakura's eyes widened. I see. She noticed the sad smile that was across her face, and she frowned herself. I'm sorry for bringing it up. I was just curious is all. Why did you want to know? Naruto told me who he liked, Sakura explained, and Hinata's eyes widened, wondering if he truly confessed to her already. Sakura smiled. Yeah, it was a shocker for me too. I could never imagine Naruto and Ino getting together, but that's who that idiot likes now, Sakura said, and Hinata stared at the girl in confusion. Ino-san, she questioned. Sakura nodded. Yeah, I don't understand it either, she giggled. But, I guess he's into blondes now, haha. I'm sorry, Sakura-san, Hinata said, and Sakura's eyes widened at first, but soon strained a grin. Sorry. What's there to be sorry for? The pig and the idiot, I'm sure they'd be great for each other. They'll probably both stop being so annoying if they're together, don't you think? They'd each talk each other's ears off. Or maybe it might be worse, because we'd get double the loudmouths together, I'm not sure, she continued to laugh, her voice nervous. Hinata merely frowned. Hinata placed her hand over Sakura's shoulder, her eyes showing empathy, but a strength Sakura never associated with her. I'm truly sorry, Sakura-san. I understand your pain, truly. I see your eyes, and I understand now. I should be the one apologizing. You were the one in love with that idiot, she said, Hinata smiled brightly. Sakura-san, you are in pain, and I understand completely. You are strong, Sakura-san, Hinata said, confusing Sakura. Thanks, I guess. Sakura looked down in thought, not entirely sure what she was getting at. Well, I should look for a dress, she chuckled, and Hinata nodded. Sakura stood up and left, attempting to preoccupy her mind instead of questioning what Hinata meant with her words. It was better she not overthink them, anyways. Hey, have you two seen Ino at all? Sakura wondered. Nope, not really. We haven't had the chance to talk to her all that much recently. Okay, I see. Sakura was stuck to her thoughts when Tenten raised an eyebrow. Why do you ask? Sakura shrugged. No reason. Do you think Ino-san might like Naruto-kun? Hinata questioned, and Tenten looked confused while Sakura simply stared at the girl with widened eyes. Why would you say that, Hinata? She asked. Hinata became flustered when Tenten's face was close to hers. I simply noticed that they hang out a lot, is all, Hinata clarified. You think they're dating? Sakura scoffed. I highly doubt that, Sakura said as a matter of factly. Why is that? Well, I asked Naruto and Ino, and they both told me they weren't. Or maybe they're just trying to keep it a secret, Tenten theorized, giggling at the thought. You really think so? She asked, wondering if it could be true. Her mind began to reel with thoughts of them going behind her back. Tenten giggled. Relax. I was just kidding. I don't know what's going on with those two at all. Tenten attempted to ease her mind. She smirked. Why, were you worried? Of course not. I would just hope they wouldn't lie to me, considering they are my friends and all, Sakura retorted, and Tenten raised an eyebrow. Whatever you say. Hey, why don't we pay Ino a little visit? We can even have a surprise sleepover. That way we can find out for sure. What do you two think? Sakura asked, and Tenten smirked, nodding. Hinata smiled cheerfully. That sounds like a lot of fun. Tonight. They both nodded, excited to have a girls' night. So why was there a sleepover planned without me knowing? Ino asked suspiciously. She watched as both Sakura and Tenten smirked, while Hinata shied away. It was a surprise, Tenten answered. As much as I love surprises, could we schedule in advance next time? She yawned, exhausted from her recent mission. You bet. But I just figured us girls needed a little break, and have a night to ourselves, Sakura clarified. Oh, so this was your idea, forehead. Sakura nodded. Yes, of course, pig. Plus, we need to figure out who's doing whose makeup and hair for Hinata's big day. Ino's eyes widened excitedly. Her face livened up at the thought. If she looked exhausted before, she certainly didn't now. Her eyes came alive with delight. Oh good. And it's this Saturday, right? Man, I still haven't found the perfect kimono. Ino sighed. I guess I'm the only one who needs something to wear, Ino thought, already contemplating. I figured Yamenka Ino would be the first one to go to the store and get something to wear, Sakura teased. They all giggled. I still am, she smirked. Just had other duties to attend to as well. I've actually been swamped recently. Almost as bad as forehead, Ino said, sticking out her tongue at the girl. I'm actually surprised you took a day off out of your busy work schedule to do this. Haha, very funny, pig. Actually, Tsunade-sama gave me the whole week off, Sakura retorted, smirking when she saw Ino in awe. You mean to tell me that Haruno Sakura took a whole week off from the hospital? I never thought I'd see the day. I thought you'd get killed before you stopped working there. I'm not a child, pig. You certainly know how to act like one, then. Fooled me completely. Sakura's jaw clenched, annoyed. Ladies, this isn't the time to bicker. It's time for fun. We need to prepare for Hinata's inauguration. We need to do her makeup. Tenten suggested, attempting to break the two up. Hinata blushed so hard she seemed as though she was already wearing makeup. Everyone decided to go and change into their sleeping garments, ready for real fun. Ino took part in doing everyone's makeup, even if they'd have to take it off before they slept, though they weren't going to do much sleeping. Hinata, this blush is perfect for your skin tone, Ino stated, making Hinata blush in embarrassment. Why you think so? Of course. It's made for you. I think Hinata should look like that for the inauguration. Tenten proclaimed happily. The guys will love you. Even though they already do. Tenten smirked. Hinata stood flustered, twiddling with her fingers. Well, I just want to look nice. Nothing special though, Hinata tried to explain. I know, Tenten. Her family's going to be there for goodness sakes. Ino joked. Hinata's eyes widened. They all began to laugh. This is really fun, you guys. Thanks for coming, Ino said. Yeah, this is what we all needed, Tenten said. They all indulged themselves in a pillow fight, bringing back nostalgic memories of when they were younger, and crazy mission stories they had. I was on a mission, disguised as an older woman, and the bartender still kept flirting with me, Tenten finished, shivering in disgust. See, you will even be cute as an old lady. Ino laughed. That doesn't mean the bartender wasn't a creep. He kept on looking at me suggestively and kept on hinting at, showing me a good time, Tenten reminded, shaking her head at the memory. Oh man, just recently, I was on a mission with Naruto, and we were guarding some old man, and he kept on trying to make advances at me. Luckily Naruto was there, although I don't think he realized how much he was able to stop him from saying even more towards me, Ino said. But that's how it is with some of them, I tell you. Hard to find a hot, good-looking, yet gentlemanly guy nowadays, Ino breathed, disappointed. Speaking of gentlemanly guys, Naruto-kun is very gentlemanly, isn't he? Hinata interjected, a small blush on her face as she looked down. Sakura scoffed. If only you saw his room, she said nonchalantly. Oh, you go into his room quite often, Sakura? Tenten asked suggestively. Don't make it sound like that. I used to always go into his room to get him up for missions. He was too lazy to get up himself. But why are you guys questioning me about this? Ino is the one who has been spending way more time with him than I have. Isn't that right, Ino? What do you think of him now? Quote. Ino sighed. Do you really want to know? Truth be told, after he saved the village from pain, I definitely saw him in a new light. I even thought how I could see myself even falling for him if I wanted to, Ino confessed. But believe me, we are only good friends, and I see now that deep down, I can't fall for him, even if I wanted to. Ino laughed, and they all seemed baffled by Ino's honest confession. But what changed, then? Why can't you fall for him anymore? Sakura pondered. Well, he's a little too loud for me, Ino said, laughing at their annoyed expression. She can't be serious, they all seem to think. Sometimes, Ino could be louder than Naruto. Almost all the time, actually. Ino continued to laugh. Ino, be honest, Sakura demanded. Sakura, you, more than anyone, should know that feelings change. You got that right, Sakura couldn't help but think, disheartened when thinking of Naruto confessing his newfound feelings for Ino. Speaking of changing feelings, Ino began, a smirk forming. Forehead, come on, I have to know. Please, tell me the reason Naruto and I's closeness seems to bother you so much. It doesn't bother me, she started, but Ino scoffed. As if, forehead. That's a lie and you know it. Why would I lie? Because I know you're hiding something from me, obviously. I'm not hiding anything. Come on, Sakura. You have a thing for Naruto now, don't you? It's so obvious. Ino, look at what you just said, feelings change. And, well, maybe what you said is true. Sometimes, I thought about it. You know, what if I actually like the dolt? But now, I know that I could never fall for him. We're friends, and that's all that we will ever be. I don't want anything to change. Ino and Tenten looked at the girl oddly, and Hinata frowned at the girl. I for one, am too busy with my clan to even think of B-boys, Hinata stammered. The girls smiled, nodding their heads. Tenten stretched. You're telling me. I swear, your cousin is so preoccupied with other things and so unaware of women. I'm starting to think that maybe playing for the other team is the best option, she joked. Right. Girls are so much easier and understanding, Ino started. I'm telling you, Ino, it's not Naruto that I have my eye on, Sakura continued on, and all the ladies laughed. I have half a mind to believe you, if you didn't look at him differently or stopped talking about Sasuke-kun so much. Sakura raised an eyebrow. Her lips pursed. Let's not bring this subject up. Oh geez, are you serious? Do you still love Sasuke-kun? Are you still waiting for Naruto to bring him back? No. Sakura shouted, her fist clenching. Ino looked taken aback, seeing the anger and hurt in her eyes. Ino never saw Sakura more emotional than right now. She never saw her this angry and regretful. Then what is it? I have to go, she said, making her way out. Sakura was never one to hold back tears, but for some reason tears were brimming around her eyes, just waiting to fall. Ino knew just what to say to hit a nerve. So many thoughts rushed through her head. I could see myself even falling for him. I can't fall for him, even if I wanted to. Feelings change. Are you still waiting for Naruto to bring him back? These two thoughts in particular played like a mantra in her mind, and she wished they'd stop. She wanted everything to stop, before things got too out of the realm of her control, and life changed far too much for her own liking. Usually, even if she was very sleepy, Sakura would urge herself to get out of bed when she awoke. This time, not so much. She laid in bed, staring at the ceiling. She held a stark stare as she continued to go through limbo. She was lost, unsure what she needed to do. Ino's words still haunted her. I could see myself even falling for him. I can't fall for him, even if I wanted to. Feelings change. Are you still waiting for Naruto to bring him back? I'm supposed to tell Naruto about Ino, Sakura whispered. And break his heart, she couldn't help but think. Why was it always her, breaking his heart? She wondered and wondered. She didn't want to have to tell him, even when she remembered countless times she rejected his advances without a second thought. Guilt consumed her as she thought of past mistakes and regrets. A strong desire to simply just blurt out her own feelings for him emerged. What are my feelings for Naruto? Feelings change, she remembered Ino saying again. Her feelings have certainly changed, but so have Naruto's. After contemplating her feelings, she figured she did like him. She wouldn't feel this way if she didn't. She wasn't ignorant to love, although she realized she may be ignorant to loving Naruto. This was all new to her. A frown formed. Why was life so cruel? Right when she was realizing her own feelings, Naruto moved on. Was this some cruel joke? Because if it was, Sakura was definitely not laughing. Oh, the irony. Either way, she had to talk to him. He asked her for a favor, and she promised him she would relay the message after figuring out the truth. Plus, Sakura really wasn't one to just sit around and do nothing. She would go crazy if she left herself to her own thoughts. She found herself in the library, looking through the myriads of self-help and love advice books. She found a rather interesting book, asking what love was. I'm so lame, she couldn't help but mutter to herself as she sat down and perused through the pages. After about an hour of searching through different books, she heard Sai greet her. "Oh, hey Sai. What are you doing here?" Quote, "I'm just looking through books. I see you are, as well. Love advice. Interesting." Sakura blushed, slamming the book shut, and getting it out of his proximity. "That's not important, but hey, I need to ask you something." "Have time?" she asked. Sai nodded, wondering what she could want. Sakura figured her situation must have been bad. She was asking for advice from Sai. He was her last resort, and she felt awfully pathetic for it. "You love Naruto-kun, don't you?" Sai stated more than asked. Sakura's eyes widened. She then sighed. "Well, I figured I must have some sort of feelings towards him. If you want real advice, I'll give you this. Tell him the truth if that is how you feel," Sai told her. Sakura gulped. "Just be honest. In certain situations, like on a mission, it is not advised to be honest and reveal essential information. However, this is a completely different situation, and does not hold the same context as a mission." Quote, "Where did you learn all this?" "A book." Sakura deadpanned. Figures he'd find it in a book. "Which one?" "The Art of Lying, Knowing the Ins and Outs." "Interesting." Sakura remained silent in contemplation. "Well, I'll think about. Thanks for your advice," she said. Sakura sighed, understanding she had to do the dirty work now and just let Naruto know. "Naruto?" Both Sai and Sakura questioned. There Naruto was, grabbing a bunch of scrolls. Sakura raised an eyebrow and Naruto grinned, excited to see his teammates. "Sakura-chan." Sai. He was a little too excited, because the librarian gave him a death glare for his loud greeting. He quickly apologized, but made his way over to their table. "What are you doing here?" "Tsunade-bachan is having me read a bunch of old scrolls to learn more about the history of Konoha and all that mumble-jumble. Which isn't too fun, I'd rather be training right now. But she said it's important to becoming the Hokage," Naruto explained. Sakura smiled. "So she's already starting to train you?" Sakura wondered, a bit excited. Naruto nodded. "Yeah, but it's kinda crappy training. She's just having me read a bunch of stuff right now." Naruto shrugged. It's not like there will always be a threat to Konoha. If you haven't noticed, Tsunade-sama is reading a lot of essential documents and such." Naruto scoffed. "Yeah, but she also spends a lot of time drinking too." "I bet Shizune is doing most of the reading," Naruto said, annoyed. "You'd be surprised how much Tsunade-sama has to do, actually. She is my sensei, after all. Tsunade-sama works extremely hard, and so if she is having you do this for training, then I think it's probably going to be very beneficial in the long run," Sakura lectured. Naruto sighed, a bit sad that he had to go through all of this. His eyes brightened at an idea, however. "Nay, Sakura-chan, you're the smartest person I know. Maybe you can help me get through this." Sakura sighed, shaking your head. "What did I tell you about flattery getting you nowhere with me, Naruto? If Tsunade-sama says you're to read them on your own, then you should do it on your own." Naruto frowned, his expression crestfallen. Sakura sighed. "However, if you want to study with me, and you ask me a question on something, I'll see what I can do." Naruto's face brightened, and Sakura smiled back. "Sai, were you going to stay and study with us, too?" Naruto wondered. Sai shook his head, smiling. "No, I should get going now, actually. But I'm sure Sakura-san would be happy to talk to you about whatever troubles either you, or she may have," Sai said before waving goodbye. Sakura's face heated in embarrassment, her left eye twitching at his hint. Naruto raised an eyebrow, not understanding what that was about. "What's that guy talking about?" "Beats me," Sakura chirped out, hoping he didn't catch on. Naruto looked at her oddly, but soon shrugged. They both spent most of the day in the library, which was a surprise to Sakura. When Sakura got up to look for books, she couldn't help but think about how surprised she was with Naruto. She figured he'd have given up by now. He was never the best when it came to academics. However, when she came back, she heard soft snores coming from their table. Sakura sighed. There he was, snoozing on an old scroll. I can't believe I'm in love with this idiot, she mumbled, but her eyes still widened, disbelief that she actually said it out loud. However, a gentle smile formed as she continued to watch him snooze. He must have been tired. She heard him mumbling something in his sleep and she couldn't help but giggle. He certainly was something else. She looked at him, and realized it was the truth. There was no denying it now. She gulped, knowing the next step. I promise, I'll tell you, soon. Naruto, I need to talk to you. Sakura found herself in front of a groggy Naruto once again, this time, hoping to give him some answers. What's up, Sakura-chan? Naruto rubbed his eyes, just waking up. He was surprised to see Sakura there of all places. It's about Ino. I asked her and, You asked her already. I didn't think you'd ask her, to be honest, Naruto admitted. Sakura rose an eyebrow. What do you mean? I meant that I didn't think you'd ask her so fast. I wasn't being too serious about it, Sakura-chan. Sakura's eyebrow twitched, her hands turning to fist as she shook a bit. He could not be serious. What do you mean? Naruto shrugged. Well, I was just saying that casually. I didn't think you'd go and talk to her about it so quick, he laughed. She had half a mind to punch him, her left eye twitching more so. So, you don't like Ino? She wondered, her heart pounding. No, I do. And we kind of talked about it, he scratched his head, looking at anything but Sakura. Then what? She spat, annoyed. She went through all the trouble, for nothing. Well, I just wasn't being too serious about that right now. Besides, he began, offering Sakura a gentle smile. Besides what? She wondered, her anger subsiding for a bit. I can't possibly have a relationship right now. She blinked. Why not? Well, the time spent with the other person means less time fighting to get Sasuke back, he declared. And I'll do whatever I can. Naruto shouted. Sakura-chan, if you're worried about that I'd spend too much time with Ino and not focus on my training, then you don't have to be. I will definitely get Sasuke back. Idiot, did Ino tell you what happened? She seethed, her fist clenching. Wah. At the sleepover. Sakura sighed, getting more exasperated. You know, actually, forget it. Sakura turned away from him, and Naruto frowned, wondering what he did wrong. Sakura-chan, what? No. Sakura-chan, please, let's. No, I don't want to talk, leave me alone right now. He didn't get a chance to finish what he was saying, because the door slammed shut. And she was gone. Naruto frowned, his eyebrows furrowing. He wondered what was wrong. He sighed, figuring she needed time to herself. Not only was she annoyed, but she felt shameful as well. Tears fell from her eyes. Is that really all he thinks I care about? What a one-track mind. She shook her head, peeved. She felt guilty, that it was her fault Naruto was too focused on Sasuke to live his own life. He was not only risking his life, but he was willingly removing other things for him. Stop being so dense, Naruto. Oh, it's you, hag, Sai began. She punched him on the head, annoyed. How do you forget so easily? Sakura said annoyed. I am in no mood for this right now. Sai tilted his head in confusion. What's wrong? Naruto, obviously. I ended up talking to him about Ino. Even if Ino did like him, he said he wouldn't even go for it, she began. That's good for you, right? No. It's all my fault too. I can't help but feel guilty. What am I supposed to say in a situation like this? Sakura huffed, annoyed. Just listen. It's because of that stupid promise with me to bring Sasuke-kun back. He's such an idiot. It's my fault he can't be happy, she began, tears welling in her eyes. It's because he loves you, Sai blatantly told her. Sakura rubbed her eyes, glaring at the boy. Don't be stupid, Sai. He's into Ino now. Quote. No. He loves you, Sai repeated. Don't make me punch you again. Sakura was feeling more upset than anything. Why else would he stop at nothing to get Sasuke back? He said. Sakura began feeling annoyed. Because of that stupid promise. Why won't he just let it go? That's what she stopped herself, her fist clenched. Just forget it. He won't let it go because. I said we should just forget it. I already know what you're going to say. You're like a broken record right now, Sakura pointed out, feeling more frustrated with Sai than anything. Well, how about you just tell him that you love him too? That should solve everything, Sai suggested, and Sakura's eyes widened, her face turning red as she covered Sai's mouth. Why say things like that in public? Don't be naive. Things like what? I'm not going to repeat myself. All I'm saying is, I get it, and I already have a plan for that particular thing. I was waiting for the perfect time. Quote, perfect time. Sai wondered, tilting his head. Yes, I'm waiting until the night of Hinata's and Neji's ceremony. Sakura sighed, wondering if that was too soon. It was very soon, after all. Sai continued to eat his ramen, and Sakura inhaled her ramen, the smell of ramen reminding her of Naruto. And thus, bringing anxiety of potentially confessing to him. Naruto looked at the two, his arms crossed. He raised an eyebrow in utter confusion. He didn't understand why Sakura would want to talk to Sai and not himself. When he heard knocks on his door a few minutes later after Sakura left, he opened the door so fast, hoping to see Sakura back there. Instead, he saw Ino. When she noticed his downcast expression, she decided she'd treat him to ramen and to talk. Naruto, Ino, Sakura began, but had no other words. I usually don't see you here, forehead, Ino noticed, raising an eyebrow. Well, I was feeling some ramen tonight. Sakura sighed, realizing she probably should have realized they would show up here. It wasn't the smartest move on her end. 2 orders of miso ramen please. Naruto called out to Chuki. You got it. While we're waiting for our food, forehead. May I have a word with you? Naruto watched the two leave, shrugging. I guess I'll talk to Sakura-chan after. What were you two doing here anyways? He asked, a bit peeved with Sai. Sai tilted his head, unfamiliar with Naruto directing this feeling towards him. Sai, however, shrugged this off. So, Naruto-kun, I thought I should ask something of you. What? Do you still love Sakura? He asked, so blunt. Naruto's eyes widened, almost choking at the sudden question. What are you talking about? He stuttered, his cheeks flaming hot. Why ask a question like that anyways? Because Sakura loves you, Sai blurted out, and Naruto's eyes widened. Do you still love her? He wondered. Naruto's fist clenched, and his eyes grew angry. Sai, don't go and assume things about Sakura-chan. She wouldn't like you saying lies like that. But she told me. Those were her exact words. Naruto shook his head, more anger settling in as he glared at Sai, his teeth grinding together. Shut the hell up, Sai. You don't know what you're even saying. I don't think either of us appreciate you saying stupid lies like that, Naruto growled. He stood, not so hungry anymore. I have to go. Sai tilted his head, not understanding what had happened. What happened last night, Sakura? Ino wondered. Why'd you run off? If you still love Sasuke-kun, I swear. No. Sakura facepalmed. This is why I left, because I wanted to avoid talking about this. Quote, well, I don't get you at all, forehead. You are making no sense. And don't try to hide things from me anymore, I can see right through you. Sakura sighed. She reminded herself to calm down. Look, I don't really have anything to say, sorry to burst your bubble, but I don't. Ino sighed, knowing it would take more than a stern lecture to get through to Sakura. Forehead, let's go shopping together tomorrow, so I can pick out my kimono. Like old times, what do you say? Ino asked. Sakura nodded. Sure, I'd like that. As they made their way back to Ichiraku's, they were surprised to see an empty seat. Where's Naruto? Ino wondered. Sai shrugged, I don't know. He just left all of a sudden. The girls looked down at the steaming bowl of miso ramen, both girls raising an eyebrow. Naruto would never leave ramen unfinished, let alone untouched. Weird. We should check up on him, Ino figured. Well, I actually have to head home soon, but let me know how he is. I'll see you tomorrow, Ino. Sakura waved. Ino smiled, waving back. Sounds good. Hey, Chuki, would you be able to get me to go bowls? She asked. Chuki smiled. Naruto was starving before we got here, and he left so suddenly. I don't know why, but something must be on his mind. Ino said aloud, putting Naruto's untouched ramen in a to-go bowl, and leaving Ichiraku's.